Evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone arena action. I was having so much fun with this arena playing the rogue that I just totally forgot to stop the video after 2 wins. And so we went ahead and packed up a third win. I think this deck is good. I think we'll make it to 7. Whether we make it to 9, who can say? But it seems like partly my gamble paid off. I took a whole lot of removal over some pretty good cards, thinking that it was worth it to have that really quality removal like the backstabs and the eviscerate, but I did start passing on a little bit. I held off on some deadly poisons to make sure we had some really big stuff for the endgame, and that has been paying off for me, the Giants and the Stormwind Champion and that stuff. I think I've actually seen the Cairn Bloodwolf in my hand twice, the Legendary. I haven't played it either time. That's sad. Okay, this is actually all wrong. Betrayal's not good early on, Assassinate's not good early on, Boulder for Stoker's not good early on. Sap's not good early on. I could keep the Assassinate to make sure that if my opponent does play something terrifying, I have it, but I'd much rather just get like stuff that's actually good early in the game. I'm up against Ilse or Ice. Oh, maybe that's Ice, or perhaps Lice. Perhaps this person really needs some help with his head lice issue. Okay, well, we have a coin. We have no Defias Ringleader, sadly, despite mulliganing everything. Is it worth it to coin out the Fairy Dragon? Not really. I'll just pass the turn, this should be fine. So basically, if my opponent plays something really scary, I could just backstab it and play the Fairy Dragon. So having the Fairy Dragon already on the board really would have done nothing for me other than let me like get my dagger out, which isn't that great. So here comes my favorite Hearthstone spell. I think that's it. I've been thinking about this like, because, you know, this is stuff I like to think about. Like, well, if someone asked you, Boris, what is your favorite Hearthstone spell? What is your favorite card in the whole game? What would it be? I think it's Backstab. I'm just going to go ahead and call it. It's just, it feels so good to be able to kill something really good and then just do whatever else you wanted to do on your turn. It's so crazy. Alright, well, let's go ahead and do the following here. I could, of course, coin Acolyte. However, instead I'm going to make a trade and then Acolyte. Sorry, coin Silvermoon Guardian. But what I want to do is instead play this Acolyte, because it's really good. It stops my opponent from playing 1/1s. I can get cards against them. And then, of course, I can play Silvermoon Guardian later on. Alright, well, the Acolyte's good against True Silver Champion. My opponent spent his whole turn putting that weapon into play. Because, it kills my Acolyte, but I draw a card off of it. Which is good, because I do have this Mountain Giant I'd like to play, perhaps, at some point. And I could coin out just to get the Defiance Ringleader into play, but that seems silly. Let's just play Silvermoon Guardian. So my opponent might be very frustrated here. I've played 2 creatures that are both very good against True Silver Champion, one of the best Paladin cards, because the Acolyte drew me a card, and this obviously has Divine Shield. Tazdingo is pretty good against the Silvermoon Guardian. That is a fact. However, okay, you have to make sure you don't screw this up horribly here. You might think, oh, the Mountain Giant costs 6 mana. Let me just go ahead and coin it out. But you can't coin it out because if you spend your coin, it will cost 7 mana, and you'll look very stupid. What I could do is I could just assassinate this thing. But again, it's kind of the same problem as before, where I'm worried my opponent will play something better, and this is my only one-click kill. I have a sap in here, which can delay the inevitable. I could backstab this, kill the thing, and play Booty Bay Bodyguard, which does die to the True Silver Champion. I don't like that. I'd rather play this, but this, of course, dies to Consecration. Can't win. Can't win against Paladins, that's for sure. Dagger Up, unfortunately, does not kill this engine. It only does 1 damage, so then Backstab is short of killing it. I could basically just assassinate, and then next turn this is playable. Alright, we'll do that. I hate these. I have to admit, I have done that myself sometimes, where I say well met, but I try not to do it when, you know, my opponent has a fistful of cards and clearly a difficult decision that needs to be made. Okay, so next turn I'll draw a card. This guy will cost 6 mana, and I'll be able to play him. So a 6 mana 8/8 is fine. The main problem is it's a bit inflexible. If my opponent does something that I'm like, oh shoot, I have to react to that, then I can't like just backstab and Defias Ringleader and Booty Bay and all this stuff, because then this guy will suddenly cost an astronomical amount of mana. Alright, well we have a reinforcement coming out, which makes sense. So basically what my opponent wants to do is pop the Divine Shield with the reinforcement, so the True Silver Champion can kill my creature. And for 4 mana, what you got, buddy? Blessing of Kings. Interesting. Well, ball sacks. Okay, so I could backstab this, pop Divine Shield, kill it. Still have all my mana for the turn. But tragically, this thing now costs 7 mana, and we have the same conundrum. Well, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I could play this first, then backstab, then pop Divine Shield. That actually works. I could also Spellbreaker, silence this down to a 1/1, Dagger, hit this. I've only spent 1 card, so again, I can play this next turn. And then I have 2 creatures on the board, one of which dies to the True Silver Champion rather promptly, and my opponent has 7 mana. Well, I kill this thing either way, so I either end up with a dagger in my hand and a 4/3, or no dagger in my hand, no Divine Shield, and an 8/8. So the 8, this guy's gonna die. So basically, either a Divine Shield 3/3 survives or an 8/8 survives. Well, let's go for the 8/8. Well, let's take a look at what my opponent can do. So now he can actually like play an Outer Peacekeeper or Humility on this, but he'll be in for a Rude Awakening because I kept my silence around. I'll actually be able to pop this back and make it an 8/8. And if you're wondering why I talk about that so much, because I bring it up kind of all the time, it is because that's basically the Paladin's only out against an 8/8 on the board, other than playing his own giant stuff. Classic Adventure, boy, that is really not going to cut it, I'm afraid. That is also not going to cut it. Oh, man, my opponent is in trouble. Big, big trouble. Oh, man, Assassin's Blade looks really good here. I mean, yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kill the 2/3 with my 8/8. This will make me... I could kill either creature with the Assassin's Blade, so the question is, do I put an extra damage on me or an extra damage on my creature? Because one of these hits for 2, the other one hits for 3. I'd rather put the extra damage on me because I am at max health. So we'll do this. And I could combo this out, but I'd actually rather play 5/3 for 2 mana. Yes, thanks. Well, now I have massive card advantage. Well, actually, no. Sorry. I don't have massive card advantage. My opponent has 4 cards. I have 4 cards. One of my cards is a coin, though it's not really that much of a card. So I have a little bit of card disadvantage, but I have a weapon and 2 creatures on the board, both of which are ginormous. So my opponent is in a heap of trouble here. Not to say that a Paladin can't win. Let's say he were to play Tyrion Fordring right now. He'd be in pretty good shape. But any sort of mundane things like True Silver Champion aren't really going to do it for him, unfortunately. For him. Not unfortunately for me, I am quite fortunate. It's also not improbable, given that at 7 mana he played a bunch of chumpy stuff, that Assassin's Blade just wrecks everything he has. So that's good. Well, we might be on our way to another fairly straightforward win. If my opponent gets a Humility effect on this, I can still silence it. What are you doing? Oh, wow. Is he going to play Consecration? I guess that would make sense. Consecration or maybe Hammer of Wrath. If this giant's going to hit you anyway, might as well kill it, even if it means smashing it with your face. Hammer of Wrath. Nope, so just a quiet Hammer of Wrath. I would have done that first, actually, because it does draw a card, and you should do those first. Eviscerate. Okay, well, we're going to swing. And we're going to swing with the blade. An ooze might be incoming, and actually he's low enough on life because he hit my giant that this is actually starting to burn him out. We'll play the Booty Bay. I could eviscerate him down to 7 health, but we'll just keep it cool and play the Defias Ringleader. Actually, I still could use this coin. This coin's never going to get any better, is it? So I'm threatening the win here. My opponent could Consecrate twice, kill everything. Then I'd feel rather silly for having used the Eviscerate. You know what? He could actually win the game if he did that, because he has 2 healing from the True Silver Champion, so he's up to 9 health. This only is 6 health. This was a bit of a careless move. This and the Eviscerate was a little bit careless, because it gives my opponent an out. Now, I'm overwhelmingly likely to win, but you don't want to give your opponents any outs if you don't have to. Alright, well, my opponent used the Avenging Wrath. I didn't quite... It was unlikely. I had 6 health worth of stuff on the board, so it was pretty unlikely my opponent would be able to kill everything. But yeah, I played sloppily there. Made a little bit of a mistake. I should have kept the Defias Ringleader and the Eviscerate back. Although, I mean, given that he had the Avenging Wrath, it would have definitely killed my pirate then, and I would have they've been farther away from the victory. So I don't know. I kind of like played into one thing but played around another, so it's hard to say. Okay, that was a good game. I have to give it to my opponent. I mean, he lost kind of crushingly, but he put himself in a situation where there were outs that he could have, and given like the giant that I played and the... Did I play the Boulder Fist Ogre that game, or was that the previous Paladin? I don't remember. Anyway, given all that, the fact that he still had outs was pretty impressive. Okay. Well, Assassinate's too early. This is also too early, and so is this. Let's just go ahead and fish for our backstabs and our 2-mana creatures. That's what we really want to be playing here. Well, we got one of them. Didn't get the others. A really cool combo actually is Backstab Defias Ringleader, because even if you're first and you don't have the coin to combo out the Defias Ringleader, the Backstab essentially acts as a coin, provided of course your opponent plays a willing creature. Well, I'm a rogue in a rogue versus rogue matchup, and I'm first, which automatically puts me at a disadvantage. You always want to be second, in particularly the rogue versus rogue master, because the combo stuff. My opponent does not have the ringleader, and that is fortunate for me, because I do have the backstab. Oh man, so do I attack with the dagger or not? I'm not going to do it. I have 2 deadly poisons in the deck, and it's possible if you keep your dagger around that you'll need it in like cases where, for example, this Acolyte of Pain comes down, I can hit something down to 1 health. It's just nice to have the dagger around. Or I Fan of Knives, something has 2 health, you know what I mean. I'm not planning to play this Assassin's Blade anytime soon. I've got this, and then I have this. So if I waste a chance to deal some damage, then so be it. Alright, well, my opponent had the Pine-Sized Summoner and then nothing else, which is fine by me. There's my legendary. I'll still hang on to the dagger. So basically now twice, if I'm 1 damage short of killing something, I have this dagger on hand. My opponent, however, is choosing a different strategy. She's attacking me with the dagger, and I have talked before in my videos here about the merits of attacking with the dagger when you're the rogue, because you want to get the damage on now that the hero ability has been nerfed, and has been for quite a while. So it's a reasonable move by my opponent, is all I'm trying to say. Well, Fan of Knives would be good if I had some spell damage. Sadly, I don't. This Panther is safe from my Acolyte. And at this point, I will actually swing with the dagger. So I got 1 tick left on the dagger. I might need that tick plus Fan of Knives to finish off this Panther. Or Fan of Knives plus the tick plus the Acolyte or whatever to finish something off. And then I'll make the Assassin's Blade. So notice my opponent dealt 2 damage to me by attacking with the dagger. Had she not, she could Panther plus dagger and kill this thing. She could still do that, but she's going to have to spend 2 mana to do that, which is a non-trivial sum.
1 shot.
Elven Archer, that actually works very well. It buffs the Questing Adventure and allows the Panther to kill off my Violet Teacher, which is a very good card, and I'm sad to lose it. So here, I could of course play the Assassin's Blade and just kill the Questing Adventurer that way. Draw a card off the Acolyte, seems fine. So I basically wasted a point of damage by not attacking earlier. But that's not the only thing I could do. I could also play Fan of Knives, kill the Elven Archer for free, get this down to 2 health. Acolyte of Pain, draw a card, get it down to 1, dagger, finish it off. No. I think we'll make the Assassin's Blade. We'll waste the tick on the weapon. So let's first draw a card, because you always want to draw cards first. That's a nice card. I have lots of nice cards. Wow. We'll crush out my dagger and kill the Questing Adventurer. Pass the turn. So I'd say I came out ahead in this opening. I'm holding an Assassin's Blade going into the mid-game. I have, boy, lots of good stuff. Got this thing, which is good too, but I'm not even going to be playing it, I don't think. I'm just going to play this thing. This is very annoying for rogues to deal with, because rogues' answer to everything is assassinate it. This, though, you assassinate it and it pops back. It's even better than the Boulder Fist Ogre. Now, I'm still going to draw cards, because you should always draw cards first. Take care of this Harvest Golem. This Acolyte of Pain drew 2 cards for me and took out 2 creatures, so that's fine by me. Sap, man, I gotta say, that card is a lot better than I thought it was. On paper, it doesn't look that good, but in practice, it actually works out really well. So if my opponent plays something really big right now, I just sap it, and I don't even care. I could also, let's see, I mean, if she does nothing, I can just make an ogre.
I hope you like my invention.
This is pretty much nothing. Let's see if my opponent has something better. You'd think at 6 mana she'd have something to do. She's really trying to ping me down, but it's not going to work for her. What I'd like to do is this and the ogre, or sap and the ogre, or ogre and eviscerate. However, amusingly enough, I have all those things cost 8 mana, and I only have 7 to work with. Well, what we're going to do is this. I'm actually going to put more damage on my creature, I think, because it does regenerate, and I need to be careful. I'm getting to the point where you have to start being very careful with your life. So I'm going to kill the big game hunter with that, kill the novice engineer with that, and I can make a couple of creatures, or I could make the ogre, the one big creature. We're going to go ahead and make a couple. The reason for that is I'm pretty safe against mass removal, because this guy respawns in this guy's divine shield. And in case my opponent did have, like, let's say, sap and assassinate, for sap this, assassinate this, I don't want to be left with nothing on the board. So my opponent has a life advantage against me, but 20 is the point where I'm not really close enough to get burned out. Not by a rogue with an empty board and a 5-card hand. So once I drop the ogre, stuff starts to get very real for my opponent, and I think I should be in good shape. So she might have been better off if she hadn't daggered me on those early turns, because she wasn't holding a dagger. The Jungle Panther wasn't enough to kill my Violet Teacher, so she had to play Elven Archer, which was fine, except that I had an Acolyte of Pain on the board, so it gave me a chance to draw a card. If I hadn't drawn all these cards, I don't know, I don't remember where this all came up, but if I hadn't drawn all those cards, I might not have been in quite as good of shape. So Shiv is definitely a possibility there, that is for sure. But I'm okay with that. So she spends 2 mana to draw a card, and essentially accomplish not very much. You know, Fan of Knives would have been a good card for her. Maybe I should have played around that more, because Fan of Knives would have finished that off, popped Divine Shield. Yeah, that could have been actually a really good play. She could have then played, like, let's see, Dagger? Yeah, she wouldn't have had enough for Dagger, Deadly Poison, and Blade Flurry. Interesting choice. I believe this was just top-decked. I think it was just top-decked. Because obviously she should have silenced my legendary and then shivved it. That would have made a whole lot more sense. Okay, well, I think we need to start preserving my health. So I will use my creature to kill this owl. I will attack with my creatures, and I'll just swing with my final tick of the weapon. I have enough removal here. I don't need to keep the weapon around. Let's go ahead and play a Boulder Fist Ogre then. And make a dagger. I could also eviscerate my opponent in the face, but let's not get too crazy here. Well, my opponent's in trouble here because basically it's hard for a rogue to get rid of all this stuff. Blade Flurry doesn't quite cut it. Assassinate is expensive. I mean, she could have a bunch of saps, I guess, and hold the fort for a little bit. But now, I'm swinging for a lot. This is, geez, 10, 13, 15, 16 damage. I actually do win with eviscerate. Goes up to 20 damage next turn. If everything is allowed to hit her. Picking this up with a dagger does not help her win because she still takes the 2 damage. So those 5 cards she's holding need to be really good. I honestly can't really think what they might be that would actually get a rogue out of the situation. Rogues are not quite like mages. Mage could be like, no problem, Blizzard. I'd buy myself another turn. No problem, Frost Nova. I still have 6 mana to spend and I've bought myself another turn. But rogues are not quite as heroic as mages are. So yeah, that Argent Commander, that's nice, but it's not going to do anything. I don't even need to assassinate it. Let's just swing, swing, swing. We'll just do that, draw a card, and then the Eviscerate is the kill.
Well played, well played.
Right, Polite Rogue, Tony Tao the Rogue. It was good playing against you, sir, or madam, probably sir. Good game. And I have to say, this was... Rogue, man. I don't know. There have been arenas where I play with Rogue and I'm like, wow, I should play with Rogue more often. This is so much fun and it's like so easy. I'm just cruising to the victories. And there are other times I play with Rogue and I'm like, this class is terrible. Who would ever want to play this class ever? Anyway, I hope that this video is showing, if nothing else, the potential of the Rogue. Perhaps I got a lucky draft. I did have that legendary and 3 backstabs, and that's all good. But, you know, it shows the potential of the Rogue. It can be an incredibly strong class. These are some of the most comfortable wins you've seen me have, especially going 5-0 and presumably facing hard opponents in a while. Okay, backstab is obviously a keeper, but this is slow, and Eviscerate, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure people can disagree, but I like to mulligan my Eviscerates, Because early in the game, it's usually going to be 2 damage for 2 mana, and I don't particularly want that. So I didn't see my Defias Ringleader, which is sad, because I'd love to coin him out. But the good news is that I have creatures, which is nice. Now I could backstab this. I don't know. I have nothing to do next turn, though, other than dagger up. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass the turn. By not backstabbing it, I do take 2 extra damage, which is not insignificant. But I'm gambling that the 2 extra damage will not be a significant problem. So next turn, I can make a dagger. Kill that thing, potentially. Fan and knives. Ooh, this is even better. This is worth coining out, I think. So I draw a card, I don't take any damage. It stops me from playing Coin Silvermoon Guardian next turn, but I think that was a little bit too good not to do. Mad Bomber, okay. Actually, it enabled my opponent to play a Mad Bomber. Luckily, the 3 damage all went on him. It would have been very sad if it had gone all on me, but he might not have played the Mad Bomber otherwise because there was a risk of killing his 1 toughness creatures. Here, though, it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to play Backstab and then Amani Berserker. It's pretty good right here. Threatening to pop the Argent Squire's Divine Shield and get enraged. Now, 4 mana, of course, is the magical mana number. Hammer of Wrath and True Silver Champion come online. Dark Iron Dwarf, uh-oh. That is actually the best card my opponent could have had come online there. Because he not only, damn it. Not only did he take care of my creature, but he also put a 4/4 body on the board. True Silver Champion, Hammer of Wrath would have killed my creature. But Dark Iron Dwarf killed it and put the 4/4 on the board. I would say that I'm actually really far behind now. This is a serious problem. Oh my god, well... There are some games where your opponent just has the absolute single most perfect card he could conceivably have at all times. First it was Dark Iron Dwarf, and then it was the Dwarven Forge Rifleman, which was not a good card, but it popped Divine Shield like a champ. So we're going to have to play the Booty Bay. Oh, it's not really the hero that Gotham needs because the Dark Iron Dwarf can just kill it. As can Hammer of Wrath plus the Recruit and True Silver Champion. We are absolutely in desperate mode. And now I kind of wish I'd kept that Fan of Knives. Oh, of course he's got a True Silver Champion. Of course, because he always has everything that he needs against me. Of course. Well, my odds of winning are plummeting very rapidly here. I do get to play this Ogre, but look at my life total. My opponent can hit me for 6, 7, 11. Alright. That is the thing. Man, this game. This game, I was never really in it. I thought I was in it. I was like, ooh, my opponent played a creature. I can backstab it and play a Berserker. And then, like, no, it just all went straight to hell. Notice how good the Argent Squire was. You gotta have some respect for the Argent Squire, folks. That really made a big difference. My opponent's actually going to take the time to kill my Ogre. He's playing it very safe. Can't say I blame him. I mean, what could possibly go wrong here? He's hitting me down to 12. And he's got a 7/7 on the board. Well... this is interesting. So, I have, I'd say, 2 main options. I could, 1, assassinate this. Well, sorry, let's try it again. I could sap the War Golem, assassinate the Dark Iron Dwarf. That's my whole turn. And then, and then my opponent has a 1/1 on the board. The War Golem's in his hand. He can just replay it. And I have nothing. I'm not sure how I come back from that. Another option is to sap the War Golem, play the Frostwolf Warlord, try to deal with the Dark Iron Dwarf that way. Then I hold on to the Assassinate, so when the War Golem drops back down, I can kill it. I think that's the best thing I can do. It's not great, but it's the best thing I've got. Notice, by the way, my opponent's very good. He kept this 1/1 in the middle there to guard against possible betrayals. I don't know if I ever ended up drafting any. God, that Dark Iron Dwarf just won him the game. I would have been okay if he had just killed my creature, but killing it and the 4/4, that was too much. So the War Golem drops back onto the field. That was his turn. He's correctly attacking me, of course, because he knows I'm going to need to trade with my life total being as low as it is. Backstab does not help me, unfortunately, so we're just going to have to assassinate this. Trade that. Play the Acolyte. And I'm desperate. Might as well kill that thing. Yeah, I just threw away a backstab to stop a hero ability, but I think basically if I am to have any chance of winning, I need to keep his creatures off the board. So he has 5 cards to my 3 and a huge life total advantage. That's a very good card. That's a terrible card, but it makes no difference. That is also fine. So he's just flooding the board with stuff. The only out I can get is a Blade Flurry. I don't think I saw any of those in this draft. And yeah, it's going to be the game. Well, alright. Let's just do that, I guess. We'll see here. What I draw? Betrayal? Bad? Okay. Technically, it's not over, I suppose. Technically. I mean, my opponent's hitting it down to 4 health. It's not exactly unheard of for him to, you know, put out a True Silver Champion, Blessing of Kings, Argent Commander. There's like 1,000,000,001 things that will win. Consecration. Another Consecration will win as well. That's a classy way to go. Yep, he's got the double Consecration for the victory. Let's just make him do it, though. Who knows? Maybe he's gonna, like, get stupid and hit my Storming Champion. Nope, okay. Well, anyway, let's give my opponent a well played. He did play well. I caught up at the end there. Notice I had more cards than he did. It's just that, he killed me, which is pretty good. So, no Night and no Dream. And I love that that game happened where I got mercilessly stomped right after talking about how good the deck was and how good rogues are. But anyway, the first 5 games show that the rogue, not always, but can sometimes be incredibly good, because those were 5 of the most comfortable victories I have had in a while, strung up in a row. So now that we're at 5-1, hopefully the matchmaker will pit us against some losers, and we'll be able to hop a couple of more wins here and have a nice night with some quality Hearthstoning, successfully making it to the top in a row. Alright, I think this is bugging out again. Let's just cancel it and click play. You know, the Hearthstone does seem to have a number of server issues and stuff, plus some weird bugs, like the creature going back into your hand bug, where it floats over the board. It does make me kind of wonder if, because there are these issues and that Blizzard seems to be unable to fix, that the game might be a bit slower coming out than expected. But since the game mostly works, I'm hoping they'll release it soon enough. It'd be nice to let people get into the beta. Kegsta the Shaman. Okay. Well, I don't think I need 2 Acolytes of Pain. I don't think I need the Brewmaster either. We'll just keep the Acolyte for some early plays. We'll hope that we can get a Defias Ringleader. Still haven't managed to live that dream in this arena. We haven't needed to, though, so that's okay. I think I had the Defias Ringleader in my opening hand once, and it was when I was the first player. Oh, man, so many polite people. Okay, Deadly Poison. Is it worth coining out the Fairy Dragon here? I think yes, it is. Because I'm up against Shaman. So if he has nothing on turn 2 and makes a totem, I want to be able to kill that totem. I want to stop the totem production. Now this Fairy Dragon's nice. No lightning bolts or anything like that are going to hit this thing. So my opponent either plays a creature. Haha, well played, sir. Well, now of course I wish I had the coin, because if I had the coin, I could dagger Deadly Poison, coin Deadly Poison, kill this thing. As it is, I'm going to just do this. I'm going to silence this thing so that I can kill it with Backstab. There's a very great risk to this play, of course. That risk is Forked Lightning. However, Forked Lightning has Overload 2, which means on my opponent's next turn he'll only have 2 mana. So that's fine by me. Alright, my opponent has a 1 in 3 chance here. Oh no, he's a 2 in 3 chance of killing off a creature, and he's gonna get the owl. That is fine. That's kind of unfortunate that they had the Elven Archer. That's about the best Elven Archer I've ever seen. So I could dagger up, kill the Elven Archer, trade creatures, and I have nothing on the board. Or I can trade the dragon for the Knife Juggler, play the Acolyte of Pain, have a creature on the board. Or I could Dagger Mastery, Deadly Poison, but this thing has at 1 health, so the Elven Archer will kill it. That seems pointless. Alright, we're going to do this then. And make the trade like that. So I'm threatening to get really good value here against this Elven Archer. Now 4 mana is where good stuff does start dropping down, like Chillwind Yetis and Senjin Shieldmaster with their 5 health. I couldn't really handle either one of them at the moment. But if my opponent does not have either of those 2 particular cards, this guy can get some cards. Alright, Twilight Drake is not quite a Chillwind Yeti. It's only 4/4 because my opponent did play a bunch of cards. So what that means is that I can actually now this Deadly Poison and swing the Acolyte of Pain into it and finish it off. But there's no need to rush into that. Let's just go ahead and kill the Elven Archer. Draw a card. Assassin's Blade. That might make me want to hold on to the Deadly Poison. Let's actually go ahead and then play this thing. This is actually not the greatest answer to the Twilight Drake. I'd much rather have played a Chillwind yet, for example, but this is actually fine. So my opponent can run into it, pop Divine Shield, and the Acolyte can finish it off, draw a card. I am A-okay with that. If my opponent doesn't play something big on this turn, then I can actually just play the Assassin's Blade quite calmly and kill whatever he played, such as this Harvest Golem. Oh, that's really annoying that he got the Taunt Totem. Bah. Bah humbug. I would like this Twilight Drake to die, and I'd like to be holding an Assassin's Blade. Now, if this had been any other totem, I would be killing the Harvest Golem. Since it is that totem, we'll use a tick of the weapon there. We'll draw a card. Eviscerate, that's nice and all, but let's just pop Divine Shield. Alright, well, I would say that I won the opening. My opponent could definitely win the game from here still. But, I mean, he's got 4 cards to my 5, a creature on the board apiece. My creature's better, and I have this weapon. Okay, well, that just changed everything, of course. Fire Elemental is such a maddening card, because, Eviscerate does not quite kill it, unfortunately. So I have to hit it with my weapon, which I'm not super keen on. Unless I give it... Alright, I think I have to do this. Let's go ahead and Deadly Poison. And I can kill this Elemental. It's going to hit me anyway, unless I play the Taunter. That's interesting. No. I think I'm going to trust my instincts here. My instincts tell me to hit this thing. So this will be the last time I hit a creature. And now I'm going to play the Booty Bay Bodyguard to protect against this Golem, because I want to preserve my health. I'm at 17, that's a bit scary, so I'd like to preserve against this Harvest Golem if I can. I've got a 5/2 weapon that's 10 damage I'll be sending at my opponent, so my opponent will hopefully be at 17 with me soon. We'll see about that. Wolf Rider, not the greatest card under these circumstances. Unless he can buff it. Ancestral Spirit, wow. That is a play. That deserves a well played. Another Taunt Totem. Are you kidding me? God. Alright, whoever was complaining that my opponents never get Taunt Totems against me, yeah. Yeah, I might actually lose this game because of this nonsense. Fan of Knives would be pretty good. Sap does not really work, unfortunately. God darn it, this is ridiculous. The Taunt Totem really blows. Well, this is not good, but it's the least bad thing I can do. Gonna play the Bloodsail Raider. Going to eviscerate this thing. And I'm actually gonna use a tick of my ridiculous weapon to kill the frickin' Taunt Totem. Otherwise, that damage is gonna go to my opponent's face. I have a 7/3 versus a 2/1, but my life total is perilously low. Also, because this guy's base mana cost is 12, if I keep playing all my cards, I'm actually not going to be able to play him out ever, which is a bit scary. Because we're a few turns away from turn 10. Alright, well, thankfully my opponent didn't have... Well, we'll see what he has for the 5 mana that he has left. Flesh-eating Ghoul. That could be very bad. Ugh, I need a Fan of Knives really desperately here, and that is not a Fan of Knives. Christ. Okay, what we'll do is we've got to kill the Ghoul. That we just have to do, because that's too dangerous. We'll play the Panda to put this back into my hand. Then we're going to replay it. And then, if I'm getting hit anyway, I might as well kill this thing. This sucks now, though, because I could totally get burnt out. I mean, my opponent can hit me down to 7. Lava Burst and a Lightning Bolt would do the trick. Oh, man, it's so frustrating. I just... That Fire Elemental killing a creature would really hurt. And, yeah. My opponent is just trying to burn me out here. So I don't have any taunt, which is a real problem. He's actually got 6 damage in his back pocket here, which is very terrifying. But he does need to kill this, because if he doesn't kill this, it'll actually kill his Gurubashi Berserker. So that is a blessed relief. Okay, so he's spending a lot of his damage potential just taking out my guy. So here's the thing. If I sap the Gurubashi, I'm buying myself some time. But then it's difficult for me to play this Mountain Giant. Because next turn it will cost, well, it'll cost 9 again. It'll cost 10 again. If I play the sap and the Boulder Fist Ogre, next turn I draw a card, this costs 10, I can play it. Okay, that's what we have to do. So we have to sap this to buy time. We have to do that. play the Boulder Fist Ogre. Swing, because obviously I can't swing at creatures anymore. And pass a turn. So my opponent can even get me down to 6 because I don't have any taunts, so taunt would have been nice here, that is a fact. And like a Lava Burst and Spell Power Totem would just win him the game, basically. He got the Healing Totem, which isn't as good. Demolisher is also not as good. Okay, well, we might live to see another day. The issue is that my opponent just has so many creatures, and this Ogre, unfortunately, only deals 6, which is not quite enough to kill the Gurubashi. And I only have 2 creatures, whereas he has 3 that all deal damage. So I might not even be able to play the Mountain Giant here. Oh, my opponent's going to do that. Interesting. So what he's doing is he's keeping his Demolisher alive. See what I get. It might be good. Violet Teacher is not the hero that Gotham needs. Alright, well, we have no choice. We have to do this. I have to hit the Gurubashi with my dagger. Take 2 damage, which sucks. I have to do that, though. So the Ogre dies, which is sad. I'm at 8 health. It's a bit hard to burn me out here. It's a bit hard to burn me out. He's only getting 1 card a turn. Stormforged Axe. Oh, God. Well, it just got a whole lot easier to burn me out. If that's a taunt totem, I'm going to murder someone. Okay, thank goodness. That's not taunt. So now it's at the point where basically he's got 4 damage in his back pocket. All he needs is any sort of... what do you think? All he needs is any sort of damage and he wins the game. Lightning Bolt, Rockbiter Weapon would all do it for him now. Alright, we're going to do this. Since the spell damage totem doesn't actually make a difference, even without it, he'll win. I'm actually going to play the Violet Teacher. I'm going to assassinate this Demolisher. And the reason for that is it allows my guy to swing for 8 damage. My only hope here is that he doesn't draw removal to kill me this turn right now. What does he have? Lightning Bolt? Fire Elemental! God damn it. That game was ridiculous. Well, anyway, I had 8, 11, 12 damage, plus my dagger is 13, so I was going to actually win next turn. And I think that was the right move. I gave myself the out that I needed, and my opponent drew a Fire Elemental. Now, I don't want to get too angry, because it's possible that he had a lot of other things that he could have top-decked that would have also won. I mean, Shamans have a bajillion ways to deal 3 damage. And I've got to give him some credit for the Wolf Rider as an Ancestral Recall Wolf Rider play. But that game was really frustrating. I went down to exactly 0 and I had to win on the following turn. Bah. Okay, well, this deck is so good I'm going to be very pissed if I lose at 5 wins, because even the losses were so close. But we're going to keep Deadly Poison for early removal. We'll send back these expensive creatures. Silence is potentially worth keeping against a Priest, against Light Spawns and whatnot, but I don't know, I was hoping to get some early plays, and I didn't. I got both of my Eviscerates. Well, here's where Eviscerate isn't super great. Northrend Cleric, of course. Well, luckily I have a good response to it. Which is to dagger up and Deadly Poison. Now, if I play the Berserker, let's think. He could run into it, enrage my guy, heal it. That's actually fine. So basically, my opponent can run into my Berserker, enrage him, heal the Northrend Cleric, draw a card, that's his turn. Then I play Dagger, Deadly Poison, and kill the thing. Okay, so anyway, Shadow Word Pain, that all is moot. Good to know. Bloodsail Raider. Well, that'll be good to play next turn. This turn we're going to kill that nuisance. And pass the turn. So this will be a 5/3 for 2 mana. That's pretty sweet. And I can even combo out Eviscerate, so I guess it's good that I got one of them. Because anything up to 4 toughness, I can kill with the Eviscerate. Here comes the coin. That could actually be a Senjin or something with 5 toughness, which would be sad. Silvermoon Guardian. That's fine. That is fine. So what I'm doing here is just playing this. Let's pop the Divine Shield. The Poison Dagger's kind of wasted there, unfortunately. And we're going to Eviscerate that. Pass the turn. So my opponent has 5 cards to my soon-to-be 5. That's just the extra card that he got for going second, so I don't really mind. Fairy Dragon is a bit scary. I could kill 1 Fairy Dragon to preserve my Bloodsail Raider, but I cannot kill 2 Fairy Dragons. Well, that's life, I guess. We're going to just do this. Kill one of them. We're going to swing by, because my opponent is certainly going to do this trade. That deserves a well played. The double Fairy Dragon was quite good for my opponent there. I'm getting a bit of card advantage with my weapons, but I am going low on life, soon to approach 20. Granted, I've gotten my opponent down to 25, so that's alright. He's gonna heal up, that's good, that means no 5-drop. And what does he have for 3 mana? Nothing. Well, that's also good. Alright. Well, we'll play this. I'll swing with my weapon. The thing is, I have 3 ticks of the weapon, but I'm not gonna get to hit the creatures 3 more times. I don't have enough life for that. He's gonna heal up. Does he have anything for 4 mana? So he had nothing whatsoever at 5 mana. Does he have anything whatsoever at 4 mana? He might be one of those people who's like playing nothing because it dies against the dagger, which is definitely a mistake. Well, let's think. If I play Stormwind Champion, we're still 2 turns away from mind control. That seems good. Gonna swing, swing. My opponent clearly does not have Shadow Word Death. He would have already used it on this panda if he had it. He's a turn away from mind control. Unless he hasn't used his coin. Is that possible that he hasn't used his coin? Holy Fire, okay. Well, that's his whole turn, and I have a Stormwind Champion. Now, this could, of course, get stolen. Oh my god, that is... wow. That is the best Master of Disguise I've ever seen. So you have to make sure you attack first. Because attacking breaks stealth. So this cannot get stolen now, which is funny. Do I swing with my weapon? Nah, I'll swing with weapon later. We are about to win here. This is 11, 13, 16 damage plus Eviscerate.
Let me change your
Cabal, Shadow Priest. That's actually great to see because I was 6 out of 8 mana. Power Word, sure, that is nothing. I win the game. This is 6, 11, 14, and that is going to be 18 damage there. I'm not sure what 1 mana thing could do. Power Word Shield, okay. Alright, well see, that's what I'm talking about though. All the losses that I had were very hard fought. The Legendary accomplishes nothing other than turn on combo, which is funny. But hey, whatever. He got use in 1 game and he was very good in that game, so I'll take it. And we win against Shablamo the Priest. Now the really kind of depressing thing is, although this deck has been a Wrecking Ball powerhouse, I'm actually only at 6 wins, which is really psychologically difficult to accept. But anyway, the wins were so strong, every single one. And both losses were... well, one of the losses was just ridiculous. So that was like, we'll say, a loss, because my opponent, had a better deck. But the loss against the Shaman, I'm gonna play the Baloney Nut card against that one, so I feel like I have good chances. But the thing that you have to accept when you play a game like Hearthstone that has random elements, over the course of your career playing Hearthstone, there will be a number of times when you have good chances to win and you will lose. Like, if you have overwhelming odds of winning, but you take those chances enough times, you'll eventually have the bad outcome. It's unavoidable. Do I need to reset this? I think I do. Let's try that one more time. So yeah, there's a good chance that I will win, but I might lose because over the career of me playing Hearthstone, when this situation keeps coming up where I'm at 6-2 and have a good chance of winning, sometimes I'm just going to get really unlucky and lose because I got a ridiculous deck played against me or because I had a bad draw or whatever. Anyway, we might have to pause it and go to part 3. And I apologize, it's not just to leave you at a cliffhanger, it's because the game doesn't seem to be working. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it to work one more time. Ah, there we go. There's the telltale slowing down. A match is incoming. A Cardish Ian. That is such a clever one. Alright, we're up against a mage. Frost Mage, the mage. Well, this is definitely a mage fan. I am not a fan of playing against a mage, to be perfectly honest. Because mages are really good. They can always have an answer. And I don't even want to keep my Divine Shield guy, because he's bad against mages. Against like any other class, I'd keep him. But mages, okay, I spent 2 mana to pop Divine Shield. What's your story? So we're first, which is unfortunate. So no combo wombo for us. Wait, we're not singing Defias Ringleader, so it doesn't matter. And the draw is kind of bad, actually. The owl dies to hero ability. Mages don't have anything in particular that you want to silence. Even if you do silence a Mana Worm, I mean, who cares? The Mana Worm is a 1/3, it still kills the owl. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and kill this thing. I do take 4 damage for that, so that's pretty efficient use of mana for my opponent. Especially because she's a mage, she hurts me with her hero ability, albeit a little bit, and mages have burn spells. So yeah, my odds are plummeting steadily here. Okay, well, more stuff for my opponent here. Let's see. Well, I'm definitely playing this thing. The question is, am I going to backstab to preserve some health?
Here we go.
No. Well, God. I can't backstab that. That seems silly. Anyway, if I were to backstab, I would backstab the 2-1 and kill the 1-1. So let's see what my opponent has for the coin. If it is a Dark Iron Dwarf, so help me.
For the king.
Huh, okay, that's not as bad as a Dark Iron Dwarf, so my creature still dies, but this ends up being a 2-2 rather than a 4-4, which is good. Bit tragic actually that backstab cannot deal damage to damage minions, because this thing is actually immune to it then. We're gonna go ahead and play the Master of Disguise. This is really terrible actually. I mean, wasting the ability, and a 4-4 for 4 is not great, but you gotta do what you gotta do. That was my only option at that moment. Frostbolt, I'm not that bothered actually that my opponent spent the entire turn just to kill my 4-4 for 4. That's alright. It's a bit sad that this guy's hitting me as much as he is. So I could play an Assassin's Blade and just kill this thing off, or I could play the Divine Shield guy. Technically he holds up. Hero ability pops the Divine Shield, but it's a 3-3 versus a 2-2. You know what? Jeez, I don't know what's right. Let me think. This stops the guy from hitting me again. So I'm saving 2 health, basically, because it's not likely to run into my guy. Yeah, we'll do this. I don't know if it's right. So basically, my opponent is at 5 mana. She's at 30 life to 20 life. I have a weapon, granted, but all this weapon is doing is hitting her. I can't hit creatures anymore with it. I've got some good spells. The Betrayal could be good.
Ready, sir.
Oh, man, that's a really good drop. Well, let's think. I could backstab this and then Betrayal it. That seems weird. I think what I'm gonna do... I think I'm gonna play this guy.
Shall not fall.
Gonna cast... hang on. What's the correct order? The correct order is to backstab this. Then Betrayal like that. And then... God. Backstab that. And then hit my opponent because I can't hit creatures anymore. I have to preserve every single point of health right now. Because mages with their Pyroblasts and Fireballs and stuff, they're in good shape. So my opponent has 5 cards to my 4, and she gets to play onto a board. Mostly empty board. I have a 5-5 for 5 coming down, which is not great. All my opponent needs is good cards, and she'll be fine. So the Arcane Missiles hit me and pop the Divine Shield. That's okay, I suppose. Kind of depends on what she has. She's sending a Fireball to my face, which suggests she has good burn. She will be able to burn me out before I can burn her out, unfortunately. I have to play right into Flame Strike. It doesn't even matter. I have to just hope that my opponent played those Fireballs, you know, speculatively or preemptively. I am dealing, however, 9, 11 damage a turn. 14 damage next turn, so I will win in 2 turns, but if she has, like, a Pyroblast, she will win in 1 turn. God damn it! Cone of Cold. Of course. She's gearing me up for a Flame Strike here. Okay, what we need to do here is make what I would ordinarily call a greedy play. I need to actually play the Brewmaster and put the Warlord back in my hand. It's unfortunate that I cannot play him back. That is extremely sad. But I just can't afford to let him die to Flame Strike. I need to keep him around. And I don't want to play the Owl because it'll just be dead, so we're gonna... Oh god, I forgot to make a dagger. Oops, that could cost me. There's the Flame Strike, of course. Oh my god, I really should have made a dagger last turn. Well... I'm gonna waste the Owl. To make a 5-5. Make a dagger. Swing. I had to do it. I had to do that, or else there was just no way for me to win. I have an Eviscerate, which unfortunately isn't great, because it can kill a creature, but it can't help me burn out my opponent. My opponent hasn't... God damn, another Cone of Cold. And a Water Elemental, which I cannot kill with Eviscerate. And it's going to stop me from attacking with my dagger. God damn it. Honestly, this game, what is going on? Even if I hit this Water Elemental with my dagger, the Eviscerate still does not kill it.
Here we go.
Jesus Christ. Those double Cone of Colds are so obnoxious, because they saved my opponent a lot of damage. and I would have just already won the game. Pyroblast. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Well, that is the game. So yeah, I had a good chance of winning and making it to 7 in the arena, but instead, several heaping gobfuls of bullshit happened, and we go out at 6. Ouch. Well, I don't know what I could have done differently there. It's possible that looking back over the draft, there were a few minor differences, or a few things I could have done differently, and of course, I'm sure there's the handful of little mistakes that I missed and wasn't able to commentate, but I will see upon review of the video. But my verdict is that was a really great deck, and it won amazing games, and then just didn't get... I mean, it just faced really, really strong opponents who got the cards they needed at the time they needed them, and were able to beat me against the odds. So that was fun with the Rogue. I think that actually, even though it was a bad run, it enhances my opinion of the strength of the Rogue. I think that was a statistically outlying arena for how badly it ended. And if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed watching that and found it educational, do please like and or subscribe. And if you'd like to stick around, then please stick around for Papa Boris's. We'll call it Happy Fun Time Bonus Hour. So we're going to get a lot of gold. The most I've ever seen for 6 wins is 140. This is actually 125, so it's as if the gods of the arena I've decided to acknowledge how good my deck was. Let's go ahead and take a look at our pack. The gods of the packs, however, did not want to acknowledge how good that arena was. And we got all 4 duplicate comments, but the equality was new. Kind of wonder, do I already have one of those? What? Okay, let's just type out the word, I guess. I did not have any of them, but now I have one. Hooray! Let's take a sneak peek at our next arena. It will be a warlock, a hunter, or a priest. Might be time for a priest if I'm not mistaken. We'll see. But either way, folks, I shall see you next time.